We're going to start with Titus chapter 2 today. We're going to go through verses 1 through 5. In this chapter, there are a total of 15 verses for the whole chapter. And it's basically what's happening is Titus is supposed to teach sound doctrine to the people in Crete now and in the churches. So this is going to be very specific, very targeted of what he's actually supposed to teach. And the timing obviously is different. I mean, we live in 2020 now, and this was, I have no clue what the year is. I'd have to look it up and figure that out, but it was way a long time ago, you know, New Testament times. So, excuse me. Some of the things that they say may be a little outdated as far as, you know, we don't have slaves anymore. None of that kind of stuff, thankfully. However, it still can be put in perspective of, you know, a business owner and their workers and, you know, things like that. So let's read this and we'll piece it out. Chapter 2 of Titus, verse 1. You must teach what is in accord with sound doctrine. Okay. Teach the older men to be temperate. Okay. To be temperate. The older men to be temperate, not to be grouches. Worthy of respect. Okay. Self-controlled. We hear that a lot. People need, if you're a Christian, you need to be self-controlled. Sound in faith, in love, and in endurance. So let me reread that. Verse 2 says, teach the older men to be temperate, worthy of respect, self-controlled, and sound in faith, in love, and endurance. Okay. Verse 3, likewise teach the older women to be reverent in the way they live, not to be slanderers or addicted to much wine, but to teach what is good. Then they can train the younger women to love their husbands and children, to be self-controlled and pure, to be busy at home, to be kind, and to be subject to their husbands, so that no one will malign the word of God. Okay. We live in a day and time where women are supposed, you know, women act like they're better than men, which is, we're not better than men. We're not better than anybody. We're learning just the same way everybody else is. And if you think you're better than men, grow up, okay? It's not true. God designed it to where men are in charge of the women. And they don't have to be dictators or jerks about it. That's not what I'm getting at. But God designed it that way. And if you don't like it, then you're just being stinky towards God. Because it's what God designed. And if you don't like that, you can take it up with him. Anyway, let me get off my soapbox. It says, teach the older men to be temperate. Yes, worthy of respect, self-controlled, and sound in faith, and love, and endurance. So that's what we should be teaching also nowadays, too. And the problem is we have a lot of men that aren't out there, that aren't in the homes, that aren't respectful, aren't self-controlled, aren't kind or temperate, you know. And endurance, goodness, they don't really put forth much effort. So this is where, as parents, I believe that we have to teach our kids this, okay? And if you are a Christian parent and, you know, going to church regularly, this is something you have to be practicing yourself and teaching your kids. Likewise, teach the older women to be reverent in the way they live, not to be slanderers. How many women do you know get around and just... Enough of that. Addicted to much wine, they drink too much, so they get drunk. God says don't do that. But to teach what is good. Teach what is good. Then they can train the younger women to love their husbands and children, to be self-controlled and pure. Self-controlled and pure. That's a big one to me. To be busy at home, to be kind, and to be subject to their husbands, so that no one will malign the word of God. Well, that's just so people don't look at them and go, oh, they call themselves a Christian, look what they're doing. Hello? Yeah, that's why we get hypocrite a lot, because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing spiritually and before God. So that's just the first 5 scriptures of Titus chapter 2. And there's a ton we can learn from that. And even though he was teaching that to the Cretans, I would say we as Christians today can take a lot from this. And I hope that we do. I hope that when you read the word, you think to yourself, how can I do what I just read in my own life? How can I practice that? That's the point of you sit down and you pray and you say, Lord, help me to not be addicted to wine, to teach what is good, to not be a slanderer, to be self-controlled and to be pure, those kinds of things. And actually pray that over yourself.